I don't know where she came from. Kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night at hers and bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Now I really get what the love songs are talking about, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. There's something about the way she laughs and the way she always dances when she thinks nobody sees. And when she's gone I miss her so. I tell her, baby, please don't go. I think you should stay with me. And I really get what the love songs are talking about. Oh, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. Turn me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night with her, bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. Come hit me up, we'll light it up. Pour some shots, get on, get naughty. I'll set you up, promise I'll get you up. The two of us, starting off with your body. Oh hell, oh well, I'll make you feel it again. Oh hell, oh well, don't stop unless you pretend. Oh hell, oh well, we're naked, touching by skin. Oh hell, oh, getting lost inside ourselves. One look at you was not enough. You know how to play it and you play it rough. We be cool enough, we fit like the doves, our hand in a glove. You and I, we got something even people can't find with luck. Our own domain of secret love. We got it going and we're going on. Waking up at 6 o'clock and I fill you up. We getting hot, yeah. The nights are blurred, but I remember you for sure. Over the furniture, we gave it all, we exhausted. Oh hell, oh well, I'll make you feel it again. Oh hell, oh well, don't stop unless you pretend. One look at you was not enough. You know I'd play it and you play it rough. We'd be going up. We fit like the doves are ending a club. You and I, we got something even people can't find with love. Our own domain of secret love. We got it going and we're going on. Well, we fit like the doves are ending a club. Well, we got it going and we're going on. Well, I'll make you feel it again. Well, don't stop unless you pretend. Well, I'll make you feel it again. Well, don't stop unless you pretend. Just one look at you was not enough. You know I'd play it and you play it rough. We'd be going up. We fit like the doves are ending a club. You and I, we got something even people can't find with love. Our own domain of secret love. We got it going and we're going on.
I wanna be a weekend lover. Yeah, I'ma be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been. Remember why you have my number. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. I ain't got no time for romance, but baby I don't want to lead you on. Not looking for something steady, not ready for that. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. Every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. Every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making,
Never thought I'd be so far from home. Never thought our love could grow so cold. Never thought we had to run through burning fire. Never thought I had to miss you and I. Life changes as we know it. You do what you can, you just get through it. It's a mystery how people can get by on as little love as you and I. Never thought I'd be so far from home. to outgrow it. Time changes people, we both know this. It's a change of season when the tide comes rolling in, and you realize there's nothing there to begin. Never thought I'd be so far from home. Never thought our love could grow so cold. Never thought we had to run through burning fire. Never thought I had to miss you and I. Oh, I'm counting roadblocks, you're counting crossroads. They were always there, but we never made a choice. It was never on the map, on this crooked road called life. It was never meant to be you and I. Never thought I'd be so far from home. Never thought our love could grow so cold. Never thought we had to run through burning fire. Never thought I had to miss you and I. Never thought I'd be so far from home. Never thought our love could grow so cold.
You wanna ride on my wave just because it's fun. You wanna be in my space, too close to the sun. Don't seem to care if it's safe. Well, that makes two of us. I'm so insane, and you like it. But you haven't seen anything yet. Now you're just beginning your trip to regrets. You might think you know me, but soon you forget. I'm too insane, and you know it. You got to learn to like me again and again, 'cause I will make you love me again and again. Just when you think you love me, you'll think again, 'cause I will make you hate me again and again. I'll say I'm fine when I'm not, just to mess you up. I won't be home when you want, and I won't pick up. You'll spend your time with your watch, counting down the clock. You'll go insane, and I like it. But you haven't seen all of me yet. Now I'm just beginning your work in progress. You might think you know me, but soon you forget. I'm too insane, and you know it. You got to learn to like me again and again, 'cause I will make you love me again and again. Just when you think you love me, you'll think again, 'cause I will make you hate me again and again. Again and again. Again and again. You wanna ride on my wave just because it's fun. You wanna be in my space, too close to the sun. Don't seem to care if it's safe. Well, that makes two of us. I'm so insane, and you like it. You got to learn to like me again and again, 'cause I will make you love me again and again. Just when you think you love me, you'll think again, 'cause I will make you hate me again and again. You got to learn to
Don't just walk away from me.